Hello fellas, welcome to another video on Yellowjackets. Just so you know, this video contains spoilers. In the Yellowjackets Season 2 finale, Coach Ben finally takes drastic measures against the girls, but the failure of his plan guarantees his own terrible end in Season 3. 5 people had passed away post-crash in the prior timeline at the end of Yellowjackets Season 2, including Laura Lee, Jackie, Crystal, Shauna's child, and Javi. Even though Jackie and Javi weren't killed in a cold-blooded manner, their deaths were considered as gifts from the environment meant to give the survivors nourishment. Only one survivor in the prior timeline of Yellowjackets has not yet consumed human flesh, Coach Ben, whose opposition to the adolescent's sinister behavior causes him to seek refuge in the cavern where Javi was hidden. Since the accident, the girls' acts have astonished Coach Ben, starting with Misty slicing off his leg without thinking in order to save his life. Coach Ben has been seeing the team spiral into cannibalism and murder as a form of ceremonial sacrifice to the wilderness ever since, but his thoughts have been diverted by visions of his boyfriend Paul. In the Yellowjackets Season 2 finale, Coach Ben takes extraordinary measures to put an end to the kids' brutality after seeing Javi's death, the teen's determination to devour his flesh, and Natalie, the only person he believed had equally rejected these twisted brutalities, being named the new Antler Queen. After returning to the cabin for matches because he's unable to start a fire in the cave, Coach Ben witnesses Natalie being bowed to as the new Antler Queen. Appalled that even Natalie has now embraced the harsh influence of the wilderness and survival tactics, the lone adult character tries to end the mayhem by setting fire to the cabin while the teens are sleeping. Shauna sees the fire blazing and rushes the rest of the survivors out of the cabin, where they gather their blankets, huddle together in the snow, and watch as their shelter slowly burns to ashes. While the fire yielded no casualties from the teens, Coach Ben certainly sealed his own fate in Yellowjackets Season 3 with his failed homicide plan. Given the girls' increasing propensity for murder, Coach Ben's inability to help the teens survive made it fairly surprising that he lived for so long. Coach Ben's actions have made him the top target for the survivors' next meal, even though he may not be drawing a card for Yellowjackets hunts. After 9 months in the wilderness, the youths are so desperate and angry that retribution is sure to play a role in their next sacrifice. Up until this point, the deaths had been done to survive and appease the wilderness. The survivors will surmise that Coach Ben stole their matchbook and set the shelter on fire, given that he was the only person missing from the cabin. Coach Ben will undoubtedly be the target of the survivors of the Yellowjackets' next attack after they realize that he stole their house, their warmth, and almost their lives. Coach Ben's actions would probably make him the first character the adolescents don't feel severe regret over eating. Therefore, seeking him out and killing him in retaliation would also contribute to the moral degradation of the survivors with regard to their cannibalism, in addition to providing the survivors with nutrition and retribution. Killing Coach Ben would direct them to the next place of safety beyond the cabin. He is currently camped out in the caves where Javi spent the winter during Yellowjackets Season 2, which is likely to be the survivors' new home. Before Natalie's death in Yellowjackets Season 2 finale, adult Lottie hints that the 6 women, herself, Natalie, Shauna, Misty, Taysa, and Van, are the only survivors remaining from the wilderness in the present timeline. There's been much speculation about how many characters are actually rescued from the wilderness, and, like in the case of Travis, how many died in the years since returning home. Despite the fact that Coach Ben had never been seen in the present timeline, there was hope that he could have been one of the few characters who survived the wilderness before going off the grid. However, his story set up for Yellowjackets Season 3 suggests he'll die long before the survivors are rescued, while Ben is seemingly doomed to be hunted by the survivors in Yellowjackets Season 3. He may stick around as the wilderness's villain instead of dying right away. Considering Javi is dead and Ben took the map that he made to the tree, it could take a while for the survivors to track him down and find the cave he's hiding in. During this time, the teens' anger at Coach Ben will grow as they suffer the remainder of the harsh winter without shelter or matches to start a fire. Once the survivors finally find Coach Ben in Yellowjackets Season 3, their pent-up rage will likely lead to his death in cannibalized fate, thus explaining his absence from the show's present timeline. So there you have it all. What do you think about Coach Ben? Share your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. I will see you next.